Okay, we're recording. Welcome everybody to another 8:30 workshop video. I wanted to talk about the recent announcement and quite a few upgrades to GPT that was streamed this morning from OpenAI. Now the stream was fairly straightforward. They were just speaking on stage, and I took a few notes that I seen that were relevant to me, that I saw relevant. Now this is an RPG channel. If you are here for OpenAI news, updates is probably not for you. This is for how I see OpenAI's new GPT can be beneficial to my RPG channel, where I play D&D on here. I do solo RPGs, and sometimes I do tinker with AI. Now, with these new updates, I think AI can become a much larger tool, platform on this channel. Before, I was experimenting with using it as a DM, and sometimes even as a player. But these new updates are unreal, completely out of this world, to the point where it's like the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix, which I'm sure will be a meme anytime soon. So, as you see on my notes here, it says, first off, the new model is the GPT-4o or 4 Omni model. It is faster, stronger, smarter. It has everything. Voice. It's all one singular model in regards to real back-to-back conversation, which they did demonstrate in the videos and on this website too, if you look it up. This is OpenAI's official website, by the way. Now, there's a new desktop app. There's a new live transcribing or translation. It shows emotion. It can do different voices, different emotional voice impacts, and you can interrupt it. It can interrupt you. You can talk back and forth with it in real time. It's not like you have to hold, talk, and then wait, and then it starts to talk. Then you have to, then it listens, and then you talk. It is apparently based on the demo. Again, I haven't tried it myself, but on the demo and the website's demonstrations, it shows that back-to-back continuous conversation method, and I believe this is a huge possibility for us, for myself on this channel. Now, as my note says, the biggest thing for me, my top priority is memory. I'm waiting for memory to hit the GPT store when you build them yourself. The GPT memory as a whole in your own personal account is fantastic. It's a huge help. It's a huge upgrade, and puts us even closer to sentience when it comes to AI. But in any event, that's a whole other argument. Next is using the real-time interaction conversation with ChatGPT as a DM. Now, DMing has been a strong potential with GPT as it's went from 3.0, 3.5, 4 Turbo. It's been very intriguing. The context window has gotten bigger and wider, and that way you can remember more from the past. But now the memory feature that's extra punch as far as detail, and having an actual memory can help keep track of the world and the characters and the NPCs and the dialogue, items, quests, etc. But for me, on this channel, what I'm more interested in compared to other people is that using it as a player. So I want to be able to make the world and create the campaigns, and that's the purpose of my solo RPGing, is just trying to strengthen my storytelling abilities, which I'm very lacking in. So doing that and using GPT as a recipient, as a player character, I feel can be a huge task and a very interesting test. So once this feature arrives, whether it's on phone anytime soon, because all of this stuff is supposed to happen within the coming weeks. This announcement was today. The biggest thing is the Mac OS app, which is for the computer. So I switched over to I had a Mac Mini for some time, and I haven't really used it for a while now, but I don't typically use it. But because the Windows app is going to come out later this year, I popped the Mac out. That's why my setup looks a little different on the screen you guys are looking at. So I feel that the player concept is far more intriguing for me compared to the DM. But however, obviously I will still try the DM feature out with memory as I perfect and build my own GPTs with the memory feature. But the player one is going to take some time to build that once they bring memory, because then with memory it can keep track of its own character sheet, and it knows what's going on in the world around it, and it can keep track of its own information, inventory, all the ability scores, statistics, all that stuff, while I'm doing all the GMing that a GM would typically do, or the tasks. Now, the most impressive thing to me was the dramatic voice and emotions. the demonstrators on stage were having it sing. It was showing emotion, like angry, excited, everything, which is part of reasoning. So that was the most intriguing part when it comes to the voice feature. Now, I don't think I put it on here, but the I'm surprised I haven't put it on here. But for me, the the other biggest surprise was the visual interaction, a live view conversation with GPT. To me, I'm surprised I did not include this on the item list. I was just way too excited. I probably just overlooked it, which is surprising because it was like literally minutes after I watched it. With the app, you can go to your camera and show GPT what you're looking at, whether it's the front or back camera, and it will comment. It will talk to you while you're showing the live view. You're not taking a picture. You're not taking video, temporary video. It's literally a live feed from what it looked like on GPT, the app, and it was continuous. The GPT was like telling what it's looking at, what it sees, and even what emotions the person was showing, smiling, happy. Imagine this for GPT as a player. And I said that from earlier because I've done this before without recording. I used the picture-to-picture method, and I would take the picture of my tabletop, and I had characters laid out. I had tokens laid out with drawn walls and everything. And I told GPT that your character is the red die, and I put the red die on the table, took a picture of it, it saw what was around it. It would see a couple of enemies and a couple of items. I said, "What do you want to do? What do you see around you?" And it said, "I see there is a couple of enemies around me, and there's even some things to loot." And this was based on a GPT that I pre-built when it comes to acting strictly as a player, not a GM, so it doesn't take the helm on the narrative, on the campaign. So I asked it, what do you want to do with your character? Do you want to move? Do you want to attack, sneak? It said that it wants to sneak to get closer to loot. So it told me to go 3 steps to the right. So I went three squares to the right, and then it asked me what was in this chest. Is it locked? I told it it is locked. Do a DC check or do a roll for lock picking or something, and then sleight of hand or whatever. And then I rolled. I thought of a difficulty, and then it did the Python code to roll the die, and it did 12, and the difficulty was 10. So I said you are able to unlock the chest. That's all I said though. And it's like, what is inside the chest? I said there was a weapon, there was a short bow, there's some gold pieces, there was a potion, and it's like, excellent. I added it, and it says I will add that to my inventory. Now, when it says it added to its inventory, it was just adding it to its context window. It wasn't actually adding it to memory. That's the part I want to remember. That's the part I'm waiting for when it comes to the memory. So when I build the GPT, I'm going to instruct it in the instructions you can do when you build the GPTs individually, is that strictly access your memory. Don't populate your memory continuously. I want it to be able to have only several memories and then expand if needed. So there's your character sheet memory, there's your uh, key point memory as far as remembering certain characters, quests that you're on, and that's it. Maybe details of the world just for simple reference, but the rest is a context window. The biggest thing is the character sheet that it can continuously update, modify, essentially the same thing, update, modify, and keep track of. So that, but obviously the thing is the live view. So it's looking while I was taking those pictures, and that took like a dozen pictures. The fact now that there is a live view, and I can just sit here and be like, all right, GPT, you look at your character now. What do you want to do? Oh, I want to go take out that goblin in front of me. So I'm like, okay, I'll move it for you. And then it's like, all right, I attack. So I'll throw some dice. The only disadvantage here is that I have to hold my phone or I have to use an app. The desktop app that they're currently going to release to the Mac OS, which is supposedly today and within the next couple of weeks. That's why I brought my Mac out of the closet. Was because that feature was supposed to be on the web app. I'm sorry, the Mac OS app. But the live back-to-back interaction is not available just yet. It's going to be the original voice feature on the computer, which is fantastic. So that there'll be a step for us to take. But then, how am I going to use when the actual back-to-back is on here? How am I going to plug this in and be able to play this? I'll have to cast my phone to the Apple or something like that. That's the other complication of all this. Until they actually release the live back-to-back with the Mac OS, for now I'll just have to tinker and see what I can do. But again, this is all within this year, within these coming weeks. So um, the biggest thing will be running tests, as you can see here. I'm going to do multiple tests. I'm going to do strictly DM as a player through Mac, through the phone, DMing with memory, testing out GPT's memory, the GPT bots memory, the individuals, and then the desktop app, like I said, will be with the voice feature first before the real-time update, supposedly. And we'll go to the website here in a second. But for this channel, I will still continue my continuous play, my solo play, which is my Misfortune campaign. That's the biggest campaign I have going on this channel, and I just don't want to, don't want to waste some time explaining it. But let me go ahead and switch. Let's switch over the the OpenAI's website. So here's what it's showing. This is GPT-4 Omni, and it's going to tell us that it's a step towards a human-computer interaction. Basically, it's going to be a lot faster in text, audio, and imaging, because before it was just three individual models that led up to the voice feature, but now it's built into it, so it's native. It's a lot faster, and I have used to plus users for Omni is available, and it is insanely fast. It would just populate the whole entire response, and I asked it to make a full campaign, and it just spit it out within a couple seconds. This is going over how it was before, I assume. Yep. And then let's see, there's a bunch of different examples here. But I'm more interested in, I don't really care about this stuff here, tokens. There's 5 times more use capacity with compared to the free users. So I'm doing obviously paid. Safety, we all are aware of that. Now let's go to something that talks about, what I'm trying to find is where it mentions the features. So okay, I overlooked this detail just for a second, but it says here GPT-4 we're rolling out a new version of the voice mode with GPT-4 in alpha within ChatGPT Plus in coming weeks. So 3 to 4 weeks, we'll be able to try it on the phone. Now the web app or the Mac OS, that is the question supposedly will be coming up later on. So that is what I'm highly interested in, plus memory. Okay, so I have a temporary chat here with GPT-4o right there. Oh, maybe it doesn't have to be on temporary chat. 1 second. Okay, let's see if we can write a campaign. I guess you can't use it in temporary chat for now. So write me a space sci-fi D&D campaign. So that's definitely a lot faster than what 4 was. Just a bit faster. It almost looks like it's speeding up as it gets closer to the end of the response, but that's the speed that is highly intriguing. However, it's the voice feature that I really want to try in here, and unfortunately the Mac OS is not released yet. So all in all, this is all really exciting. It's just more of a wait and see until it's released on Mac and the phone itself. So, and it's like, how can I integrate my phone into the setup when, if this has the feature first, then I really want to try it out when it comes to the voice live-to-live reaction feature. So it's like more, it'll be like another person here in the room. So, but yeah, in any event, that's really it, guys. My notes are here. I'm going to keep this for future reference, and I'm just excited. That's like, for me, it's more the player itself, having GPT be the player, while also continuing my solo campaign on the side. But that is it for this video, guys. I'll see you next time on 830 RPG.